Welcome to Paranormal, the New Normal. We are back once again for another amazing one-on-one bracket. And yes, this is one we just did last week as well, but you know what? It's a very highly debated one, so it's always fun to do because everybody has different opinions on this topic. And we're doing the conspiracy theory bracket again because why not? It's a fun bracket to do. Everybody can see these things in different lights. Everybody can have different truths about these. So some people might actually believe in the ones that other people don't believe in. So who knows? It's fun. And you get to hear the great humor of my guest tonight, Michael Colby of Jack Billings Presents Haunted Apartment Complex. One of my favorite podcasters to work with. Always got a fun take on pretty much everything. So, Mike, how you doing today?
Super. Yeah. I do just want to start the podcast by saying I think all of these conspiracy theories are completely ridiculous bullshit. So
and this is gonna be fun.
I'm picking ones based on how silly I think they are.
Well, folks, you see this an hour. Flat Earth for the win. See you next time. I'm kidding. But, well, we'll see. You never know who's going to make the top four of this one, then. That's going to be the fun part. And for those who don't know, I think this is the first time that Michael has ever been on Paranormal New Normal. He's been on Maniacal Music Musings a handful of times, so be sure to check out those episodes if you want to hear more of them, or check out his shows, which you'll hear about at the end, of course. So let's get this ball rolling first, though, because we have 34 different conspiracies to go through here, and they are all fun to talk about. So let's start off with, I'm going to say it's a lot, but I love all these matchups, even though this is a randomly generated bracket. I did not rank these or place these in any particular reason or order. It's just completely computerized randomness. So let the fun commence. The first matchup is the Montauk Project versus the Denver Airport.
Okay, these two, I didn't know a ton about either of these. Like, I thought I was up on most of the, like, major ones. So I did a little bit of reading up on this. The Denver Airport is the murals, correct?
Yeah, the murals are a part of it, but the Denver Airport is ties to Illuminati, to Freemason, to extraterrestrials, to Native American spirits haunting it because it was built on Native American burial ground. And fun fact, they actually play on the speakers Native American tribal music, but it's so low that in the hustle bustle people can't hear it because when they first opened, it actually started to soothe the spirits from being vengeful.
Okay, that is a lot. Again, these are really kind of the two that I knew the least about. The Montauk projects, it was a lot. These conspiracy theories, I think, need to be more concise if they want to be believable. It seems like when you tie everything together, it's like there's part of it where I'm like, all right, I can see how this could be real. And then it's like, oh, and then by the way, there's aliens and ghosts and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, now you've completely lost me because come on, keep it down to one thing, you know. But
that's the thing about the paranormal there. Paranormal usually ties a lot of different phenomenon together in a lot of certain locations. So that's the thing about it. You can't control that.
Yeah, these are just both a little bit too much for me. I thought the Montauk projects were much more interesting. I'm gonna have to do more reading about the Denver airport because even though I don't believe in almost any of this stuff, I still think it's endlessly fascinating. So I'm gonna do more research on this Denver airport thing, and it might change my mind as to this matchup. Um, but I don't think either of these are gonna go too far for me anyway. So let's just say Montauk for this one and keep going. But yeah, these were just two that were just a little bit too much for me. Like I said, you start and it's like, oh, I can see this, and then it's like, oh, and then by the way, like you said, I was reading about these murals at the airport, and I'm like, oh, this is very interesting, and then you're like, oh, yes, and by the way, it also Illuminati, Native American burial grounds, you know, and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh well, that sucks then because it's less interesting to me when it involves everything.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole Avengers versus one superhero at a time movie debate. So, yeah,
Yep.
but the Montauk project moves on to round two, and it's gonna be facing either the Malaysia MH370 flight or Skinwalker Ranch.
Um, the Malaysia flight is interesting to me because back in the day, flights used to go missing all the time. But now with all the like the equipment, the monitoring equipment and the airports and stuff inside and outside, everybody has their, cell phones and stuff. This was a huge plane. I don't
Yeah.
understand how this one went missing. And I think that makes it more interesting to me because usually, in my mind, I can just like blow off a conspiracy. But for that flight, it's like, how does something like that even happen? So let's have that Malaysia flight move on because how the hell does that even happen?
Well, I mean, if you could explain to me how Skinwalker Ranch happens too, then that'd be great.
Oh, I definitely can't explain that, but when you get into alien stuff, I I I feel like there's definitely aliens. Like I feel like in a universe that's infinite, just the thought that we're the only, uh, that we're the only like intelligent, apparently not that intelligent, uh but, like it's telling me that's the only like intelligent life that's out there. I don't believe that. But to say that other things are coming to visit us, I don't know. I just I have a very hard time believing that the aliens are here. I believe that there's aliens. I don't believe that they are here.
Oh, we differ on that opinion there, I think. and Chancey must be watching because he says intelligent.
Yeah,
Quotation marks. LOL.
he
But
is correct.
yeah, we're not going to. I ain't debating that at all. At all. That's
No.
accurate. But that means Montauk Project will move on to face MH370 in the next round. But the next matchup, speaking of our outer space friends, is Flat Earth versus reptilians.
Now, these are both very silly to me. Um, I've actually heard a lot I've heard a lot more about flat Earth than I have about reptilians. I think these both have a thing in common that's like nobody can like come up with a conspiracy theory that's like all the same. It's always like the flat earth is this. No, it's that like there's an ice wall around the planet. No, there's an ice wall and then there's a dome and then some people think that after you get over the ice wall, it's nothing. Some people think you can't get over the ice wall. Some people think that after you get past the ice wall, there's another like flat sphere that's a different something. Um, nobody can agree on how the sun works on this flat earth. Nobody can agree how the moon works. Is it all projected onto the screen? Is there water on the outside? And none of it makes any sense. I think the flat earth is the stupidest thing. And reptilians, like I've seen reptilians where people think they're aliens. I've seen reptilians uh where people think that they evolved from reptiles the same way that we evolved from monkeys. They can't tell me how they change shape, why they would change shape to look like humans. It, again, none of it makes any sense. It's if people could get their conspiracy theory shit together and just come up with this is what the reptilians are, then I would be like, okay, this is how the flat earth works. Great. Then we can go from there. But as it is, both of these things are nothing. It's just things that people think in their brain. They can't understand something more complex than what they see with their eyes. So they go with what they think it is. And that drives me crazy. Uh, but I'm going to go with reptilians just because I do love those inside blinking eyes
I was
that
going to
they have.
say, I mean, I was going to say, these eyes that are seeing this, are they regular eyes or are they side blinking eyes? Like,
Nope, that the eyes are the thing that makes the reptilians more interesting. And I would love
and
it if a species evolved sort of the same time that we did, but inside the earth. That's another thing. Are the reptilians underground? Do they live in the hollow earth? Nobody can even come up with like anything for that either. So come on now.
spoilers for what's coming up in the future, folks. But
Yeah.
and I mean, them there reptilians, those boys built the city of gold underneath L.A.
Sure. Sure, that's one of the things that they may have done. Give me some
Maybe.
concrete proof. I want proof other than I think I saw a picture of Hillary Clinton's inside eyelids blinking vertically. Like, no, fuck you.
Well, if reptilians do exist, that would be one. But that means the reptilians are moving on. Strangely enough, to face either MK Ultra or Men in Black. One of these is a
MK
battle that may have happened before.
Yeah. MK Ultra, I think MK Ultra I actually think may have happened the closest to what these conspiracy theories are out of any of these conspiracy theories. Um, but listen, uh, there's no MK Ultra movies starring Will Smith about them. So I mean, do I think that there are secret government programs that nobody knows about? Absolutely. Do I think they go around intimidating people into, confessing and like intimidating them into silence about things that they saw? Sure. Surely there is that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
Just
like
ask
the
Dan
Men in Black.
Aykroyd.
I don't really want to ask Dan Aykroyd anything. He seems like he sucks. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Men in Black here because they're just more fun. Like you don't see I was gonna say James Earl Jones, but that's not who was the other guy in the
Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee
Tommy
Jones.
Lee Jones.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it'd be fun rolling around Tommy Lee Jones for a day. I think
Hell yeah.
just be like hanging
That
out with
whole
your
thing.
grandpa all day.
Yeah, the whole I mean, Men in Black is a great movie, so I have a soft spot for the Men in Black. But yeah, a, a
Oh,
cool a cool group of government agents going around intimidating people into not talking about what they saw, or it just sounds more fun to me
yeah. I
than all
mean,
the shit that happened in MK Ultra, which seems like it may have been horrible. And we know about things that the government's done to people that were like just as bad as what they, well, maybe not just as bad, but close to as bad as what they say about MK Ultra. And once the conspiracies get too close to reality, then they become less fun.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And this next matchup, I couldn't have made in my wildest fucking dreams, but here it is. Get ready for this one. It's Bigfoot versus the MLK assassination.
Well, Bigfoot is okay. I don't love conspiracy theories about the government killing prominent people who want peace. I think that sucks because I think that happens. Like so yeah, it's just not as much fun. Um Bigfoot on the other hand, we got some blurry photos of a monkey man walking around in the forest. We see sightings all the time. There's shows about him where nothing happens because he probably doesn't exist. But the fact that people keep going after him, and it's just the biggest lunatics you'll ever see, and they're so happy to talk to you about their Bigfoot obsession is way more fun than thinking about the government killing uh a, 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 a by all accounts very good person. Like I don't want to talk about that anymore because they
Yeah,
did that shit.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. It's more a question of how, but they did. But that means
Yeah.
Bigfoot moves on and is going to face a battle of locations because it's Area 51 versus Antarctica Secret Base.
Now I I want to make sure that we're talking about the same Antarctica secret base. Because I didn't go any further onto this one because the one that I know about is the flat earthers one, um, where they have a secret military base that keeps people from going onto Antarctica because they know that it's the edge of the world. Is that the
That's
one we're
one
talking
theory.
about here?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
It's all the same. It's all the same conspiracy theory, but that's one theory. I mean, it ties
Okay.
into Hollow Earth. It ties into Hollow Earth too in some way. It just ties into the fact that the government. There's a reason the government doesn't let people go to Antarctica unless they give them permission.
Yeah.
That's basically the
But
bottom line.
yeah, it just it doesn't make any sense, because if it is the ice rim around the edge of the world, it would have to be so big. There's no way that the government could stop everyone from going in there. Um, does Area 50, do I think Area 51 has aliens in it? No. But it's a secret government base in the middle of nowhere in the desert. Do I think they're hiding some heinous shit? Absolutely. There is some shit in Area 51. Am I discounting aliens 100%? No. Because like I said, I do 100% think that there are life forms elsewhere. I just don't think they're here. But if they were here, they would be in a secret base in the middle of the desert. And if it's not aliens, it's something, because the government has stuff that they're not letting us know about. Not cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, the aliens aren't at Area 51; they're at Area 52. I don't know what. Oh, what?
Give me 1 second.
All right. Chancey, you know that's not true. Yeah, I don't know, Chancey. Bigfoot is not hiding at Area 51, Chancey. The Antarctica secret base, maybe.
The
Possibility there.
that would be a Yeti, though. I think a Yeti would have a better chance in the Antarctica secret base.
I will get more into why that is possible when we get to the Hollow Earth theory. Just saying.
Yeah. Did I pick a winner for this? It's Area 51.
Okay, no, you didn't officially pick a winner, but now you did.
Okay.
Which means
it's Area 51.
Well, Jancy, the next matchup in round 2 is Bigfoot versus Area 51. So you might in the future we'll get to discuss that a little bit. But and Chancey says there are abominable snow people, and we hate that term on this show, just saying. But the next matchup, though, are two things that are not related in the slightest. At least I don't think so. It's possible, I guess, but it'd be a far stretch. And it's Freemasons.
It's all related.
Oh, it could be, but it's Freemasons versus sea monsters / living dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't think those are related. Sea monsters, absolutely. There's stuff, man. The ocean is terrifying. I don't think we give enough respect to how fucking scary the ocean is. The shit that's able to survive in the deep ocean, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm way more scared of shit that lives in the ocean than aliens or anything, because I've seen the giant squids that they've pulled up from there. Like, you see that these lobsters just live forever until they get too big for their shells, and then they get smushed to death. Like, the ocean is a terrifying place. Have you seen an anglerfish? The scariest looking fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. So aliens, or not aliens, also aliens, because squid and octopus have completely different DNA and eyes and everything from everything else on the planet. If anything is an alien, it's an octopus.
Well, if you watch Resident Alien, that show is right there with you.
Okay, well, it's correct because the sea is full of some horrifying shit, and it's probably because I grew up reading H.P. Lovecraft, but I am scared shitless of the ocean. So, not only is like a crocodile and an alligator things that they're living dinosaurs. I don't think there's a monster in Loch Ness, but there could be something like that living in the ocean because we haven't seen what lives in, 5% of the ocean. So, yeah, there absolutely could and is living dinosaurs and all sorts of horrifying shit that lives in the ocean. If the Illuminati is real,
Freemasons, but yeah.
they're doing or the Freemasons, and it's probably because I read Behold a Pale Horse when I was like 15 years old. But Freemasons are the Illuminati as far as I'm concerned because uh, uh now I'm Bill Cooper uh put those two together, and I think about the book Behold a Pale Horse at least once a day, just about how stupid it is. Um, but yeah, I'm not afraid of the Freemasons. I don't think they run anything. And if they do run anything, they're doing a terrible job at it. And I'm sure and I think I saw that we will talk about the Illuminati lately, and I'm going to say the same exact thing about them. They're
Oh,
they're the worst group of people trying to run anything I've ever seen. The Freemasons can fuck right off. Anything living in the ocean could take out the Freemasons.
we can only hope. But
I do hope. I do hope that something comes out of the ocean and takes care of all of us because as a species we're doing a terrible job with this planet.
truth. And just so you know, there is a theory that Loch Ness has a cave that goes to the ocean and inside of it. So just saying.
Okay. I
So
I'm usually once I hear, Bigfoot included, it's like, oh, the original picture is we did this. Like, this is definitely something that we made up and took a picture of. Like, Bigfoot, the original picture is a guy in a suit. And once I hear that, I'm like, all right, fine. Then I'm going to dismiss it.
Bigfoot is more than just. And the original film had that they took that back. They said the guy that said that, the three other guys were like, "No, we didn't fake that." So,
Oh,
I mean, it's
good
three
Lord.
versus one. I mean,
Okay.
two of them are now passed on, I believe, but I think Gimlin's still alive. I think, but that means that sea monsters are going to face either Spygate or Mount Rushmore Hidden Chamber.
I mean, Mount Rushmore bums me out as a concept. Like, we're gonna take this indigenous land and this big mountain that means a lot to the people, and we're gonna carve four of our fucking white ass slave owning president ass like faces onto this mountain. So I don't really care what happens inside of that. I think we should blow that thing up. Um Spygate, again, we have some shit that the government is absolutely capable of doing. Uh, I think it's been blown out of proportion. but I think it's more fun than Mount Rushmore, which I don't want to think about. The less I have to think about Mount Rushmore, the better. So we
Spygate
could
was
talk
on.
about Spygate a little bit more. Oh no, wait.
Well, I don't think it's anything
I'm
too. But
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. These are both weak. These are both weak sauce. So
they are. I did not make these matchups. But
I know. That was not a dig on you.
well, that means that the first half of round one's over. You're going to the other side now. And the first matchup is a group matchup. And it's QAnon versus the Illuminati.
Now, if we're talking, are we talking? Do these groups exist? Because QAnon definitely exists. Groups of people believe this bullshit that QAnon is spouting about. I mean, on one hand, QAnon is a dangerous group of fringe lunatics, most of which are Second Amendment like absolutists. Like we should be able to own whatever firearms we want to. And they, you know, they're adamant that the election was stolen from Donald Trump and that they stormed they stormed the Capitol. Like that's the kind of shit that's not very fun about QAnon. The thing that is fun about QAnon is that they will believe anything. If you tell QAnon people that now I'm gonna before I keep going, this is just my opinion. This if you're listening to this podcast and you listen to this podcast and you're a QAnon person, uh Jeremy and Chansey, they have nothing to do with what I'm saying right now. So don't listen to my shows if you think I suck. But but the fun thing about QAnon
Hold
is that they'll go, they'll say, "Oh, JFK Jr. is still alive and he's going to run with Trump in 2024." Of course that's going to happen. Like that's a perfectly reasonable thing to think. You can make these people believe anything. and,
Yep.
and that's pretty fun. And again, the Illuminati, a dark cabal of rich, powerful people secretly meeting and worshiping Satan or whatever, and ruling the world and deciding what's going to happen to everyone. Like, if they're real, they're doing a terrible job because the people that actually are in charge of everything are out in the open and they have billions of dollars, and like it's just these rich people get richer, and if that's what you want to call the Illuminati, then fine, they did it, they succeeded. But but I don't think it's nearly as interesting as people who believe that the Illuminati runs everything would lead you to believe. I think it's just a bunch of fucking boring billionaires just letting us know that they're going to exploit us so that they can have more billions of dollars, and we're just like, whatever. And we just let them, instead of guillotining a couple of them like we should, and that would make the other ones go, oh, they're serious, maybe we should not do this anymore. So what I'm saying is, all we need to do is guillotine probably Elon and Jeff Bezos, and the rest of them would fall in line. There's a lot more of us than there are of them.
Truth. Very truthful. So I'm guessing
So-
QAnon moves on.
Yeah, I think QAnon, again, they're not fun because they're dangerous and real. But they are fun because they think JFK Jr. is going to be Trump's vice president, and JFK Jr. has been dead for years. And I think it's hilarious. Like, if you believe that, I can get you to believe anything.
Well, that means QAnon's gonna move on to face one of these two, either the Matrix / simulation theory or the fake moon landing. And I'm gonna let you talk about those for a second while I go grab something real fast. But talk on, I'll be able to hear you.
The fake moon landing doesn't make any sense to me because it was in the 60s, and they're all like, oh, CGI and this and that, and none of that stuff was good back then. Special effects in movies were bad. CGI was non-existent. I don't care. And they've also done a lot to debunk the stuff that the moon landing people say. So no, wait. Dinosaurs, Spygate. Yeah, so I think the fake moon landing is a bunch of bullshit. Now, are we living in a simulation like the Matrix? I also don't think that's true. I can't imagine why anyone with the technology to have us living in the Matrix would make our lives so boring and terrible. Like the Illuminati, somebody is if somebody is programming the world and running everything and, basically running our lives, I don't see any reason that they couldn't at least make it interesting and fun. So I don't think that we're living in a simulation. Uh, but I would be more willing to believe that than that the moon landing was fake. Because also, why would we fake the moon landing? Like, it seems like as much work and would have taken as much time to do a fake moon landing as to actually get us to the moon. And we've been back since then. And the fake moon landing also usually ties in with the flat earth, which I think is the biggest pile of bullshit that I've ever heard. So I'm gonna go with the Matrix on this one. And then what I'm gonna do is, since Jeremy's not here, I'm gonna mid-roll plug my podcasts. We have Jack Billings Presents Haunted Apartment Complex, which is a scripted comedy podcast about an alternate dimension, Reading, Ohio, where my character gets killed pretty early on and turns into a ghost. We do have real conspiracy theory stuff that actually happens. One of the episodes that we just put out is uh, we do in-universe shows, and one of the recent ones was Data Battle with Joe Alexis, which is sort of an InfoWars type of thing. Um, we have living porcelain dolls. We have werewolves. We have Frankensteins made of 72 people Frankensteined together. Uh, One of our main characters is a gentle vampire. If you want to hear more about that, you got to listen to the show. One of the other main characters' wife is a werewolf. Um, yeah, it's a lot of crazy shit that happens, and it's all made up, like a lot of these conspiracy theories are. And then the other one is called This Bizarre Adventure, which is a podcast about the television anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where myself, who is not really an anime fan, and my co-host B Highland, who is a huge anime fan and a big JoJo fan, and they're also a voice actor and like pretty prominent cosplayer of JoJo stuff. Um, we go episode by episode talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it's a very fun show. And sometimes we miss a couple weeks or a month, but we always come back because B is a very busy person. And even though I am a robot programmed to podcast, I understand that other people are humans and they need to do stuff. Um, so I'm gonna pick the Matrix on this one. And when Jeremy comes back, until then, let's oh man, I wish he had a more interesting background because there's not even anything to make fun of here except for the fact that this thing on his garage door looks like a cartoon, like a plank that some kid would have made to carry around, and he has like huge arms. So I don't know what's going on back there. Uh, Man, he's really letting me hang out to dry here. Um, so so and I don't even have anybody to play off of because he's not here to bring up any comments. Um, so I guess we'll just sit here in silence for a little bit. Do 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 do. Silence is better, I think. I hope Jeremy knows that I am not a solo podcast guy. I only do stuff with other people, and there's a reason for that. Okay. Chansey is messaging me directly. So he's going to ask me some questions. He says I can talk to him. Oh, I hear some moving around. I think
I apologize for that, my friend. I apologize for that.
I was
had to
almost
throw my super deck deep.
okay. I was almost able to fill in that entire time. I got some plugs in.
Yes.
I still want my plugs at the end, but
you'll get them in plus that. Ladies and gentlemen, temporary host of the show, Michael Colby. But so I heard most of it. But which way did you go? Matrix or Fake Moon?
Matrix.
All right. I figured that's the way you were going, but
yeah,
I was, Super Dad has selective hearing.
Yeah.
But that means QAnon will face the Matrix in the next round. Are they related? Who the fuck knows? But that means the next matchup is global warming versus Pizzagate.
Well, I mean, global warming is real. We keep having the highest temperatures every year. It's currently like 55 degrees where I am. It's
Lucky
10
you.
o'clock at night on the East Coast. So the which conspiracy are we going with for global warming? Just that it's real, that it's man-made, that I know that, spoiler alert, we have a government controlling the weather thing coming up.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So I didn't think it would be that.
No, it's just basically a theory that global warming exists and was caused by us more than anything. But I mean, the Earth does go through cycles, and that's global warming is just part of that, I think.
They do say that, but yeah, we've done a lot to this planet in a very short amount of time, and to think that that wouldn't do anything to the climate and the environment is silly. I don't even know why this is a conspiracy theory. Pizzagate, very, very stupid. Again, with the Q stuff. And I think all of this Q pedophile stuff is dangerous because there really are pedophiles out there. There really are sex traffickers out there. And the Q stuff is not bringing any attention to any of those real issues. It's doing things like making people it's doing things like making people go to a pizza place because somebody said that Hillary Clinton is sex trafficking children out of the basement of this pizza place. And it's like, that's not helping anyone. It's not helping you. It's not helping the real children that are really being exploited. It's not helping the owners of this pizza place that probably had no idea that it was, even a thing until people started harassing them. So I think it's a bad thing all around. But again, because nobody got seriously hurt during this Pizzagate, makes it hilarious because again, these Q people will believe anything.
Well, funny. Well, Chancey says the pizza place with no basement. You mean?
Yeah.
And funny enough, I was turned on to this conspiracy by Macaulay Culkin on his podcast Bunny Years.
Okay. Is he a Q guy?
No, he just likes to talk conspiracies.
Okay. I think in a vacuum, like in in theory, these conspiracy theories are very fun. But the problem with them is that once you start like really believing a lot of these, they all end up in bad places where like people get put in danger, whether it's yourself or someone else. And uh they always end up anti-Semitic for some reason. And that's like not cool. Like you listen to these like Alex Jones types, and it started off, just like weird, and then the longer they go, the crazier they go, and it always ends up anti-Semitic, and it's like fucking chill. Like the Jews do not run everything. Just fucking stop it.
I honestly think we'd be in a lot better financial standing in this country if they did.
Probably. This I mean, again, just like the Illuminati, if somebody's running this country, they're doing a terrible job. So like you shouldn't be so worried about it because they're incompetent. If somebody's running the country and the world, they're incompetent. They should be easy to foil if you have a good plan.
Yep,
Uh
I agree.
So yeah, I think Pizzagate's going to win this one. Just for luckily nobody got seriously hurt during it. It seems to be over, and it just showed up. It even like an Alex Jones isn't going on about it anymore, so that it's over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, yeah. So that means Pizzagate is going to move on and is going to be facing either Hollow Earth or NWO, New World Order, and we're not talking the wrestling stable.
Are you sure? Because I can talk about Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Sting. Let's do it. Six Pac.
Oh, I think we're talking about some of those people later on this week. So we'll wait till that.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I we'll talk later this week because there are some songs that I still can't hear without thinking about the NWO.
Well, speaking of NWO, is it going to be them or Hollow Earth?
I'm not a fan of these big groups, so let's go Hollow Earth because it's crazy. Like what could be in there? Like what's in the Hollow Earth? Is it like an upside down city? Are the mole people there? Are the lizard people there? Who knows?
Exactly.
Nobody knows. We've never been there. Like give me some proof of this. Because I want, if the earth is hollow and there are lizard people living in there and mole people, I want to go there. Like, I want to see these lizard people. Show me the lizard people.
Well, we were talking about those, and we'll be coming back up again in a little bit. But that means that the next matchup is kind of similar. It's Hollow Moon versus False History.
I must have missed.
Hollow Moon False History?
I must have missed False History in the list that you sent me because I know nothing about that one.
Well, actually, everybody knows it because it's basically what a lot of us were taught in school as children. It's just basically the idea that the government changes history to match what they want to say.
Oh, okay. Well, that happens. Once we get into the information age where more people are have access to more information, who knows what's real actual history. I don't think I know, and I don't think the people who make the books know.
They don't.
So I think as far as conspiracies go, because again, hollow planets, flat satellites, hollow satellites. It's all very dumb. History books being written and changed absolutely happens. So let's go with fake history because history is fake. Maybe I do believe in more of these conspiracy theories than I thought at first.
Exactly. And actually, to see who false history is going to face in the next round, the next two are sadly very believable. And it's COVID-19 / vaccinations versus chemtrail poisoning.
um, I think that, first of all, if the COVID-19 vaccination thing would have been real, it's been the amount of time that they said everybody would be dead in. Everybody would be dead. They're not. They've been saying that they're putting tracking chips in vaccines for years. I think that would be excessively stupid. Again, if there is an Illuminati running things, it would be really stupid for them to be implanting us with chips because we all already have chips where they can hear us and track us. They know where we are, and we carry them in our pockets on purpose because they're so convenient. It would be very stupid for them to implant us with these chips when we just carry them around because we want to. So I think the COVID vaccine thing, it's been 2 years. I'm not dead. Nobody I know who got it is dead. So I don't think it killed everybody in 2 years, and I don't think they're implanting chips in us because that would be a lot of money that they wasted to do that. Chemtrails, it's another one of those that I hear so many things about why they're doing it that I don't believe that they're doing it, just because nobody can agree on why they're doing it. Like, tell me why they're doing it, and I'll be like, that makes sense. But it's like, oh, they're killing us. Oh, they're giving us this. They're weakening us. They're sterilizing us so that we can't have as many babies and this and that. And it's like, all right, well, bring it down to one. Let me wrap my head around it instead of, everybody's idea of what they're doing is just their own idea of what they're doing. So that being said, I'm still going to say chemtrails because the COVID-19 thing I think is dumb and bad.
Well, that means that it is time for the first play-in matchup of the night to determine what's moving into round one out of these two. And it's either Jeffrey Epstein's death or the JFK assassination. It's a deadly matchup.
Well, JFK assassination is classic. Nobody knows. Again, there are reasons for the government to have done that. I don't see why they wouldn't have and pinned it on Lee Harvey Oswald.
Exactly.
And Epstein, I mean, I don't care how rich and powerful I am. If I get caught red-handed, doing that child sex shit that he was doing, I would have killed myself. I'm not saying that he didn't get suicided, but I also don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to have done it himself, because that's a rich, powerful, selfish man who was about to have everything taken away from him. I don't see any reason why that suicide wouldn't have been the real deal. So again, I'm not saying he wasn't killed, because I can see that too, but I can also see that it was an actual suicide, because that's what I would have done if I was him. But I'm going to go with JFK just because it's way more interesting to talk about. And then I don't have to think about a child sex trafficker, which I
Well,
don't want to think about.
well, you could say maybe your program think that way because JFK assassination is going to move into round one and it's going to face predictive programming.
Okay. I'm gonna go JFK here too. Predictive programming. I mean, they probably can do. They do a lot of that kind of stuff. And it works well because people are dumb and
Amen.
easily manipulated. And I'm not taking myself out of that. I'm not taking myself out of that like group. I also can be easily manipulated. So um I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be. And again, JFK assassination, just too much fun.
Exactly. Which means that now you get to do the other playing matchup of this bracket, and it's going to be either Georgia Guidestones or 9/11.
Georgia Guidestones are so cool.
Yes, they are. Yes,
I
they are.
I love the Georgia Guidestones. I'm bummed that they got destroyed. I think they were cool. I think it was a dumb reason to do it. I don't think it was a good idea to do them. And just the fact that one of them was that easily destroyed shows you that it wouldn't have survived what it was meant to survive anyway. Um, but they are it's very cool. It's cool to think about um who and why the Georgia Guidestones were ever made. It's fun that they were a real thing with a lot of like you could go to it and see them. And
Yep.
like I think that's a good basis for a good conspiracy theory. Like I don't like a flat earth. I don't like a hollow moon because there's no evidence that any of it's real. But the Georgia Guidestones were real and they did have the stuff written on them in those different languages that people were saying, and they built the conspiracy around that, and I like that. And it was built for a very strange reason. Like, oh, if the world ends, these things will live on and teach people how to do. I was assuming 9/11 was that they did it, which
Well, I mean, in this bracket, it can go either way you want it to go. It could be let it happen or made it happen. But
okay, well, I don't think they made it happen, but I do think they let it happen. Um, and I think they did. If it was like a Watchmen type thing where it was supposed to get everybody together and like bring everyone together, they did a terrible job afterwards. But
mhm.
if we would have had a new world order, Illuminati, one world government that was good at their jobs, then they could have maybe made everyone get along with each other. But if the one world government is real, they did a terrible job. But yeah, I can't imagine that 4 planes full of people couldn't have. Well, they did bring down the one, but I don't know. I don't know what happened, and I'm not even gonna begin to speculate. Uh,
Well, is it that or is it Georgia Guidestones or 9/11?
it's Georgia Guidestones, and I think Georgia Guidestones are gonna go a surprising for a play-in. They're gonna
Well,
go a surprisingly far way through this bracket,
well,
and I think
let's see.
I think just like before when we did these, I tend to ramble, but I've gotten all of my ramblings out before we started. So I'm gonna be picking bang, 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 bang winners. Let's do it.
Well, it's the last matchup in the first round now.
Okay.
And you got the Georgia Guidestones versus
Yes.
the one you mentioned earlier, government weather control devices.
Okay. Well, I if the government is controlling the weather, they're doing a terrible job. I'm more inclined to believe that because of our treatment of the planet, that we warmed up the earth, we changed the climate, the ice is melting, it's switching weather patterns to make this weather just go crazy. If they wanted to kill us and they had weather controlling machines, they could have done it. They would have done it, and they should have done it by now. But they didn't, so I don't think they have them. I think it's overly complicated when we have a lot easier and more efficient ways of killing a bunch of people. So Georgia Guidestones are going to keep going here.
All right. And yeah, Sharknado coming to you soon, folks.
See, that would be a cool apocalypse. I would love to live through the Sharknado apocalypse. Yeah. Or die in the Sharknado apocalypse. Either way.
Well, that brings us to round 2. And like he said, it usually goes faster from this point because it's just everything's right out in the open, and it's just picking who you prefer over the ones you picked earlier.
Yeah.
And the first matchup in round 2 is Montauk Project versus Malaysia MH370 flight.
I'm gonna go with the flight again. It's a real thing that they can't explain, and that's way more interesting. I think the Malaysia flight is. I think I know what the final is going to be already.
We'll see. So that means that MH370 is going to face either reptilians or Men in Black in the quarterfinals.
I love Men in Black. I love the Men in Black. We're going to do Men in Black here.
Remind me to wear white around you. Yeah, right. My fat ass ain't wearing white. I look huge. But that means that the next matchup in round 2 is an even better one. Bigfoot versus Area 51.
Oof. As far as conspiracies go, I think Area 51's way more interesting. Bigfoot, you're fun. I love you. I don't think you're real. And I think Area 51 is way more interesting.
You're breaking my heart here, man. You're breaking my heart.
I know.
Yeah, Chancey, you're watching me die on the inside, not him now. But that means that Area 51 is going to be facing one of these two things that are not related to it at all, most likely. And it's going to be facing sea monsters / living dinosaurs or Spygate.
Sea monsters. I'm telling you, the ocean's scary. I'm afraid of sea monsters.
And Chancey has a feeling the finals are going to be Guidestones versus 370.
That's what I'm thinking, but I also just remembered about the sea monsters, which are legitimately terrifying.
We'll see.
And also real.
I agree. But we'll see, because we're on the other side of round 2 now. And the first matchup is QAnon versus the Matrix / simulation theory.
Again, I'm going to have to go with the thing that I know is real, and the thing that I know that is real is QAnon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Matrix. I was like, tell me. But
no, I know that QAnon is a bunch of dangerous idiots.
Well, those dangerous idiots are going to be facing either Pizzagate or Hollow Earth.
I'm going to put Q up against Pizzagate.
Ooh, I mean, at least they could be related, so.
They did it to themselves.
apparently. But then again, they did it to themselves. They wouldn't be in this Pizzagate conspiracy, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
But that means the next matchup is going to be false history versus chemtrail poisoning.
I like false history because, well, I don't like false history, but again, false history is real. I apparently am a conspiracy theorist because they do keep changing the history books, and nobody knows if what they're putting in it is real, if what was in it before was real. So yeah, fake history is definitely a thing.
And Chancey apparently said about watching me die inside. Oh, the sweet terrors of unfathomable sadness.
Oh,
And Chancey, he loves it. He loves it.
He loves it. He loves it.
Oh, it gets him hard. But and apparently it's a QAnon pizza party, which I think is the name of the next Dog Fashion Disco album. But
maybe it should be the name of the next Cottonmouth Kings album. Don't make us listen to it though.
they don't get that political. Dog Fashion Disco does, but they only got political when it was to legalizing weed. Now that it's legalized where they live, they don't give a fuck. But that means that the last matchup in round 2 is JFK assassination versus Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, it's Georgia Guidestones. I mean, JFK, interesting. It probably didn't happen the way that we know that the way we are told that it happened, for sure. But it's played out. The Georgia Guidestones, I'm not going to say are fresh, but it wasn't that long ago that somebody did go in there and destroy that one, and then they took them down. And yeah, so it's a little bit fresher. It's definitely a real thing that was made for an insane reason. I just love the Georgia Guidestones.
Well, speaking of being fresh, fuck you, Chancey.
Yes, I do remember that. I think about that once a week.
Assholes. But that means the quarterfinals are going to get started now. And the first matchup is Malaysia MH370 versus Men in Black.
This is a tough one, but I'm a little bit obsessed with this Malaysia flight because what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?
What's in the plane?
What's in the plane? Where is the plane? What happened to the plane?
Well, I'm pretty sure the plane's been sold for scrap in China, but
yeah, it's just it's a crazy thing with all the
that's what happened to it. Chancey's right.
Bigfoot's okay. It made an emergency landing, and then Bigfoot put it up on cinder blocks and stripped it for parts.
Apparently, must have been a clan of them. But that means that Malaysia flight is going to face in the semifinals either Area 51 or Sea Monsters / Living Dinosaurs.
Sea Monsters. Sea Monsters.
Which means the other side of the quarterfinals starts off with what came first, the chicken or the egg matchup, and it's QAnon versus Pizzagate.
QAnon is still going on, more dangerous. Pizzagate is done, and it's just stupid and funny now. So I love stupid and funny. It's what I've built my whole podcast career on. So we're gonna go with Pizzagate on this one.
That's what I built my whole music podcast career around. But that means that the last matchup in the quarterfinals is going to be False History versus Georgia Guidestones, as if I don't know who's winning.
I like the Georgia Guidestones too much. Fake history happening. It's happening, and it's going on, and even the stuff that's happening now, we don't really know what's happening. But the Georgia Guidestones make a more interesting conspiracy theory.
Well, folks, I have a feeling that Michael here is a undercover petrophiliac. I think he's in love with rocks.
I would like to fuck one of those Georgia Guidestones.
Talk about hard, but that means that we are down to the semifinals, folks. We have our final four, but we're going to see what order they're going to be in officially. Because the first matchup we'll start with is Malaysia MH370 versus Sea Monster / Living Dinosaurs.
Oof. Oof.
His love is being tested here.
I'm going to go against what I originally thought was going to go, because sea monsters are just, it's just too scary. It's just too scary and too real. And we don't know anything about the ocean, and what we're going to find in the ocean when we get to it is it's going to be monsters. It's going to be fucking living dinosaurs. So we're going living dinosaurs.
And folks, time to put the last piece of the puzzle in here, as it's a matchup I couldn't dream of in my wildest imaginations. QAnon versus Georgia Guidestones.
No, Pizzagate versus Georgia Guidestones. I'm sorry if I said that wrong.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Pizzagate's done and funny. So Pizzagate won that last round.
All right. Well, he is correct, folks. It is Pizzagate versus Georgia Guidestones.
And it's gonna be the Georgia Guidestones, because A, I want to fuck them, and B, yeah, they made Guidestones to live life after the apocalypse, and that's fucking crazy and great and hilarious. And somebody took it too seriously and broke one of them up. And I think they used the Guidestones. I think they broke them up and used them for affordable housing, which I'm into. If I read that correctly, after they broke them up, they used them as building materials. So not only did they come up with a fun conspiracy made from some insane reason, they also went to good use after they got destroyed. So Georgia Guidestones, man, what a fun conspiracy theory.
Well, out of the two things in that matchup that you want to fuck, I'm glad it's the Guidestones, not the other. Put it that way. But
yeah, definitely.
That means that we folks have our final two matchups of the night, and we're going to start with the third and fourth place matchup. Jesus, what am I, Mike Tyson here? And that matchup is going to be between Malaysia MH370 Flight and Pizzagate.
Yep. Pizzagate's going to be 4. Malaysia Flight's going to be 3.
And that means, sign that.
Yep.
The final matchup is going to be breaking Michael's heart in half here. Is it Sea Monsters / Living Dinosaurs or Georgia Guidestones?
Georgia Guidestones are so fun. They're so sexy, but I think Living Dinosaurs, Sea Monsters are real, and we're going to find out about it. And just like in Innsmouth, we're going to have people starting to worship them. They're going to turn into fish people themselves, and we are all going to die. And I, for one, welcome our new Eldritch Cthulhu overlord. I will gladly look into your eyes and have my soul sucked out of my body and go insane. And then
I knew a girl like that.
So yeah, that's Sea Monsters. So Sea Monsters, Georgia Guidestones, Malaysia Flight, Pizzagate. That's the order.
And yes, folks, it is. That is his final four, doing my damn job for me. But yes, he does have Pizzagate in 4th place, followed by Malaysia MH370 Flight in 3rd place, and then Georgia Guidestones in 2nd place with
Jack, just type in Jack Billings Presents into your podcast app. We're bringing everything together. We had a previous season called Me and My Neighbor Michael. You can listen to all of that. I'm about to put all of Haunted Apartment Complex onto that feed, but right now they're separate, but they'll all be one. And then when we start next season, everything will be together on the Jack Billings Presents feed. And then you can listen to This Bizarre Adventure, which is a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast, where we don't talk too much about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, mostly just get horny about cartoon characters.
Sounds like a fun time. And of course, folks, if you want to hear all the same and more, you can check me out. Well, why am I telling you? You know where you can find me. And if you don't by now, shame on you, shame on your family, shame on your house, and shame on your damn cow. Man, I'm sick of saying it. But if you really don't know, or if you're new, go back about 108 episodes if you're new. But if you're new or need a reminder, stop smoking so much, then check out the outro and you'll find everywhere I am and everywhere you can find my glorious face. Until then, I will be back, I believe, on, I don't freaking know. Saturday, Sunday, I'm around here somewhere. You can find me then. Just watch for the ads. And till then, have a good night. And remember, like and subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. It helps. Goodbye.